Hey everyone, this is Veer. I'm Ben's friend, and we're here in St Andrews, as you can see, with St Andrews Castle just behind us. And just wanted to give you a nice little view of where we are. So I'm Ben's friend, and I've come up from London to come to the Next Level Business Booster Workshop, and really just come and see Scotland for the first time as well, actually. So I'm here to ask Ben a few questions about his main takeaways from this workshop that he's run. So Ben, let's get started.
Yeah. So main takeaways from it. Yeah, let me just share this onto Ben's Business Book Club, which
Yeah.
is the community of avid readers and entrepreneurs who are bookworms like myself. Give me a second. Okay, well, what was the first question while I do that?
Yeah. So, right. Let's get started. So the first question is, what's the reason or the purpose for running the Next Level Business Booster Workshop?
Okay. Hi, Thomas. Tam, thanks for joining. So my reason for starting the Next Level Business Booster Workshop, okay, that's it shared into Ben's Business Book Club so I can concentrate now. The reason for starting it was really to blow people's mind away with some of the things I've learned in business and in books, from workshops that I've attended, from my experience in business, and I picked up some really great business strategies. I've grown other people's businesses, grown my own business through using all these strategies, such as the 80-20 principle, and how I'm applying that to my business, to my clients' businesses when I'm coaching them. And I wanted the main transformation I wanted them to take from the Next Level Business Booster Workshop was a change of mindset around how they can grow their business, and just really what they can do, and give them some action steps on actually implementing it so they can experience it and have a transformation of their mind themselves.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. So that's quite a powerful reason for running a workshop, and it seems like you've got a lot of knowledge to actually share with everyone. So let's share some knowledge now. What's the main kind of lesson that you've learned from running this workshop?
The main lesson I've learned from running this workshop is there's a lot to do when you run a workshop. There's so many things, but there's no regretting moving forward with something I was like unknown to me. I grew so much as a person. The actual feedback I got was just unbelievable about the delivery of the workshop. So one of the things biggest takeaway I got was that you've got to go ahead even before you're ready, and that was a big takeaway for me, because I never felt ready. I tried to start this workshop in February, and then I put it off for some reason. I cancelled the date before I put it out to the public, and I felt like I was just putting that off, and then I didn't actually book it in again. So the key lesson is that you're never ready, and I stood up there and delivered with Alan a great workshop that everyone really enjoyed. So I was ready. I was just holding back for too long.
Okay, wow, that's a really fantastic lesson, and I think you gotta do before you think you can.
Exactly.
So I've got another really great question for you, which I think you would really appreciate. So, what's the biggest challenge you faced in running this event?
The biggest challenge I faced in running this event was, again, the number of things, different things I had to do all at once. It's not just like going to someone else's event and being a speaker. You've got to think about your pitch. You've got to think about filling up a room of 200 people. You've got to make sure those 200 people show up. You've got to plan out your content. You've got to... The one thing, if I was to say, is this. It was actually running a workshop, being a coach or training and consulting in any way, to train people. You have to take what you're doing practically out in the real world, transform that into a system or a process that a wide audience can take and use. And that's a difficult thing to do. You've got to actually create something. You've got to create a product. You've got to package things up to make it understandable to a crowd of people in all diverse different industries and businesses, and that's the key lesson I learned, that there's a process you've got to go through from putting just these concepts into actionable systems that other people can take and use in their business.
So it sounds like quite a transformation from different mindset, really, from being a business owner, a business person that makes sales and does that, to actually a teacher, someone who's trying to deliver information, deliver knowledge, and transform people's lives.
Exactly.
So you talked about the one thing just there, and I'm really glad that you did, because you talked about the one thing in your workshop, which is a concept that one thing can often be the most powerful change or most powerful decision that you make. So if there was one change that you'd make in your workshop such that all other changes are not necessary, what would that one change be?
It's a good question. Good question. So the one change I would make that would make all other changes less necessary or not necessary would be to focus on the audience that I'm bringing in the room, and so that the content could be more focused to them.
Yeah.
That would be the one change I would make that would make everything else unnecessary. It's the basics of marketing, really. It's like knowing the audience. We were focused on numbers and getting the room filled up. So I think that would be the one change I would make to really make sure everyone. What we did was we touched on a lot of different areas, and from some of the feedback we got, the one change I would make is just more focus on who we're speaking to and who we're talking to, and what we want them to get from the day, and therefore probably reduce the numbers of people who get in the room, and deliver more quality. So I think you have to take action, get feedback, and adapt your approach to that.
So that's really great, and I'm glad that you found a really powerful message to yourself, actually, that you can take away and use that. And it sounds like, actually, relating this back to last week's podcast, that's sort of the 80-20 action for yourself and for Alan to take. So on the other side of that, actually, what's the one thing that you wouldn't change? So that's really asking you about sort of the one highlight, the one absolutely necessary thing to keep in your workshop.
The one highlight, the one thing I wouldn't change about the Next Level Business Booster Workshop, good day, Daniel, would be I would stick to teaching people the concepts, the big ideas that I had to share, because I really think the audience were really engaging with that, and they were enjoying that based on the feedback as well. The big ideas, the concepts, the mind-blowing stuff is maybe where my strength is in speaking and describing them, things that I'm excited about that I'm implementing in my own business, and I would get rid of the detail. So that would be, again, more of a change. But the one thing I would stick to is I would add more of that to it. I would add more and expand on, maybe give more context around and examples around the big ideas and the concepts that I was sharing, because I got a great response from that.
Okay, fantastic. I think that's pretty much all of the questions I have for you today.
Okay.
So thank you so much for your reflections and your honesty in all of your questions. So
we've got. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So we've got a question here from Daniel. He says, which is more critical, content or the community? That's a great question. I would say, what's more critical? I think the community, because they are who are going to come to your next workshop. They're going to be the people you can affect and more deeply, because if you have great content, you can get great content on Google and on YouTube if people search for long enough, and you can find really great courses online for free. So I think the community is 10 times more important and more critical, because when you have people's attention in a way of like community and accountability and support like that, you're able to spend more time, and the more time you spend with people, the more you can bring to their life. You can't create transformations in a 5 minute or even a 3 hour workshop. It's just not long enough to really change people's lives.
Okay. That's really great. Thank you, Daniel, for your question. Very valuable. So, one last question I had for you. I just thought we'd ask for everyone to know what's next for you.
What's next for me? What's next for me is more workshops. And I really do love the energy that I got yesterday at the workshop. It takes a lot of energy out of me to do something like that. So to do a workshop tomorrow would be the last thing on my mind. It's actually to get, if you look around here, it's to hang out with Ver and tour him around Scotland, and that's about all I have plans for next. But after that, maybe once I've got my energy back and I'm ready to go again, it'll probably be another workshop, because I love the vibe and the energy in the room yesterday. I want more of that, and that was the reason I created the Next Level Business Booster Workshop and made a real physical thing rather than doing all the online stuff. I really want to get on the ground and speak one-to-one with the people, and I would probably again try and do a wee bit more networking at the next workshop as well.
Okay. Fantastic. That's really great. Yeah, thank you so much for answering all my questions. And is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, thanks for interviewing me and taking over Ben's Business Podcast.
Fantastic. It was great to be here. Thanks for everyone for watching.
Thanks for joining, David. Right. And thanks for coming to the workshop yesterday.